Hello lovelies, it's Fiona here from Harley Street Emporium and the Menopause Research and Education Fund, and I'm jumping on very quickly to talk to you about the North American Menopause Society's update of its position statement on non-hormonal therapies for vasomotor symptoms. Now, they did one back in 2015 and then they've re-looked at all of the evidence and all of the new evidence and things like that to find out what does and what doesn't work when it comes to reducing the severity and the frequency of vasomotor symptoms. And remember, that's what we're talking about here, vasomotor symptoms, nothing else. So let us run through what they have said works and what they have said doesn't work, because there are going to be a few things here where people think, really? I don't agree with that. Anyway, so it'll be interesting to see what you think, because these guys do know what they're talking about and they have done an awful lot of research. It was a very big panel that spent a lot of time sifting through stuff, but it's got some interesting things. So let us look at lifestyle. On the yes, getting the tick, the recommended ones are cognitive behavioural therapy, clinical hypnosis, and losing weight. They say those three things have good evidence behind them for helping you reduce the severity and the frequency of your vasomotor symptoms. Good stuff. Then we move on to non-hormonal medications. Now remember, HRT is an hormonal medication and it is recommended. It's the gold standard. So what we're talking about here is non-hormonal therapy. So this is important for people who can't take HRT or don't wish to take HRT but have troublesome symptoms. So we are talking here about, first of all, antidepressants, the SSRIs and the SNRIs. These both have good evidence for reducing the frequency and the severity of hot flushes. And I know a lot of people get very upset when they say, oh my God, my doctor recommended that I take antidepressants. It's a lower dose and there's very good evidence that they actually can help with those two symptoms. The next one on that list is an anti-anxiety medication called gabapentin. That also has good evidence. That's on the yes list. Then there is the newly approved by the FDA neurokinin 3 receptor antagonist, and I'm probably going to pronounce this incorrectly because it's got a lot of syllables. Fezolinetant, that's what I'm going with. Sounds good to me. That is on the yes list, and that's going to be hopefully a game changer if it is approved here in the UK and it's affordable, especially for people who've had cancer. That would be a very interesting one. The other one that's really interesting is oxybutynin. Now, oxybutynin is a drug that you would normally have if you had an overactive bladder, but they found that women were coming back and saying, oh, you know what, my hot flushes and my night sweats are much better on this drug. So they went away, did some research, came back, and it does have very good evidence apparently for reducing those two vasomotor symptoms. So that's good news, especially if you have an overactive bladder. Win-win for you. The other thing which is really interesting is a thing called a Stilt ganglion block. Now, I would never have thought about this. This apparently involves injecting a painkiller into a bundle of nerves in the neck, and it's normally used for controlling chronic pain. But like the overactive bladder drug, patients were coming back and saying, my hot flushes are feeling an awful lot better with this. So they looked at it and that has been given a tick too. So there you go. If you can find somebody who can do that for you. Of course, it only lasts, I can't remember how long now. I think it's 3 to 6 months or something. So it's something you have to have repeated. But interesting. Now, the interesting stuff as well, the no list. What's on the not recommended list? Let us have a look at the lifestyle activities. Oh, just let me move my chair here. Right, under lifestyle not recommended activities, and there are some surprises here, avoiding triggers. We're always told don't eat spicy food, don't drink alcohol, don't drink too much caffeine, all of those sorts of things. Apparently it makes no difference to the severity and the frequency, so forget that one. Exercise. Now this really did surprise me, because we're also told that if you exercise, you will have less hot flushes and night sweats, but apparently makes no difference. That does not, of course, mean don't exercise, because you need to exercise for the health benefits for so many other parts of your body, your heart, your brain, all of those sorts of things. So make sure you do keep on exercising. It's just probably not going to make that much difference to your hot sweats. Then yoga. There's going to be a few people who are upset about that one, I'm sure, as will the people who support mindfulness-based interventions and relaxation techniques. Nope. And same with dietary modifications. They found that they didn't make any difference to vasomotor severity or frequency either. So no amount of cutting out certain food groups or adding in 20 million kilos of soy is going to make a lot of difference to you. You can keep on going as you normally would, really. Then become to not recommended technologies and treatments that are out there on the market, and there are a lot. I don't know about you, but my feed is constantly full of, and when I say my feed, I mean my social media feed is constantly full of things being advertised to me for keeping me cool and reducing my vasomotor symptoms. And they include things like cooling mats, cooling pads that you put around your neck, cooling facial sprays, and it doesn't seem to matter what they contain or how expensive they are. They are not going to reduce the severity or the frequency of your vasomotor symptoms. They might make you feel better when when you have a flush and you decide you're going to spray yourself with something cool. But literally, you might as well go to the fridge and keep a cold spray of water in your fridge. It'll do the same, and you don't have to pay a huge amounts of money for something else. Basically, that's just cooling you down afterwards. It's not going to do anything to reduce how many you have or how horrible they are. Then things like paced breathing, that also get to know. Acupuncture, that get to know. Chiropractic interventions, they get to know. And then there is a thing called the calibration of neural oscillations. Now, apparently this involves wearing some type of device, often a bracelet. Apparently these are very expensive too. They're around about the $300 mark in the US. And they say that somehow these oscillations, they're sent to the brain, and it changes the oscillations in the brain that control the heat controlling receptors in the brain or something along those lines. The North American Menopause Society is saying no, you can save your money on that one. Then they have taken a couple of medications off the list. The medications they've taken off are pregabalin. That's not because they're saying it doesn't work, because they're taking it off because it's it has a lot of side effects, and it's a difficult drug to get because of its classification. So they're saying gabapentin would be a better option really than that one. Clonidine, this used to be highly recommended. It's a blood pressure drug, but they're taking that off the list as well. And then there is an insomnia treatment, and I don't know whether this exists in the UK or not, but it's suvorexant, and they're saying no to that, no effect either. Then here we come to it, the other thing that is truly interesting, supplements. Now, I don't know about you, but like the cooling mats that pop up on my social media feed non-stop, my social media feed is full of things that are telling me every day that if I take this tablet, this miracle pill, this supplement, this herb, this whatever, I will never have a hot flush again. I'll sleep through the night. My night sweats will be completely gone. My life will be revolutionized, and I'll be, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro tomorrow with no problems. The message from the North American Menopause Society is save your money. There is no evidence for any of these. Now, I know that's going to make a lot of people unhappy, and that actually also includes the cannabinoids. I know there are a lot of people who swear by cannabinoids for their hot flashes and vasomotor symptoms, but apparently the answer is not recommended. So there you go. The interesting thing about that, you might be thinking, well, how come that doesn't work? Because there are studies out there that show that these things do work. The difficulty with a lot of these studies is that they are done for 3 months, and the placebo effect, coincidentally, lasts around about 3 months as well. So you might take something and think, yeah, actually, this has really made a huge difference to me. But then in 5 or 6 months' time, or a little bit further down the track, you might actually be thinking, hang on a second, it's not working anymore, and that's when your placebo effect has worn off. So basically the message from these things is that there is no really good evidence to say that they work, so save your money. There you go. Now remember, I'm the messenger, don't shoot me. If you disagree with those things, I would love to hear what you think. Let me know. And in the meantime, remember, donate to the Menopause Research and Education Fund, because we will be doing independent research into these things as well. So let me know what you think, and I will speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.